Good afternoon, my dear student. Today is the 4th of October 2020. It's Sunday, a new week in our new school year. Today we have a grammar lesson, and here today we're going to study the complex sentence. But before we go to the complex sentence, let's make a quick review for what we have studied. We said that we have 4 types of sentences. We have studied the simple sentence and the compound sentence. And you said that the simple sentence are the sentence that have one subject, one predicate, and it conveys or it makes a complete sense and a complete meaning. While the compound sentence is it contains 2 complete ideas, 2 complete sentences, or 2 simple sentences, which means 2 independent clauses, and we call them independent clause because it can stand alone by itself. It doesn't need the help or the support of any other clause. It can stand alone by itself, and those 2 clauses are connected together with the different connectors. There are 3 methods or 3 options. The first option is a comma and a coordinating conjunction, and a semicolon, or the semicolon and conjunctive adverb plus a comma, like those examples. And we said in the semicolon we cannot use the comma because the comma is so weak, and the comma same time it cannot connect 2 complete sentences. The comma does not connect 2 complete thoughts. The comma does not connect 2 independent clauses. Then we spoke about the let's see what else. What is the dependent clause? And we said that the dependent clause may have it's not a complete sentence, and it may have a subject and a predicate, but preceding them we have a kind of conjunction that cannot be eliminated or cannot be omitted from this clause. So it's a part of it. When you read it, you'll find that it doesn't give me a complete thought. It needs something else to support its meaning or to complete its meaning. Like those examples are given to you. Whenever I go to the lake, here I'm missing something. It needs another one. Okay. Today, the complex sentence. You can revise all these things. Yes, we start here. What is the complex sentence, and what the difference between the complex sentence and the compound sentence? The complex sentence here is a sentence that has at least one. It has already one independent clause. It has one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. Again, a complex sentence, it's an independent clause joined by one or more dependent clause. Okay, what is a dependent clause? The dependent clause, maybe you find it that it doesn't have a subject or a verb, or it could have both of them, but they are preceded by one of the conjunction that cannot be eliminated, and with reading it all together, it doesn't express complete thought. Look at those examples. Yes. Since my friend and I wanted to have fun, and we stop here. Since my friend and I wanted to have fun, and we stop here. If you read it like this, you feel that it lacks something, it's missing something. I don't have a complete thought here. If you hide the word since and you start reading from my friend here, my friend and I wanted to have fun, this is the complete thought for me, and I consider this an independent clause. But by adding since to it, and since is one of the conjunctions that cannot be eliminated, we call them subordinating conjunction. Those subordinating conjunctions are a main part of the independent clause, So this kind of conjunction came to the independent clause, turning it into a dependent one. Because she was sick. Yes, who lives next door? All of them are dependent clauses started with one of the subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun like the last one. And when you read each one of them, you will find that it doesn't express a complete thought. Okay. Now, we have now in a complex sentence, we said we have two parts. One part which is the independent clause that can stand alone, and the second part is the dependent one that cannot stand alone. How can I connect those two together? If you remember in the compound sentence, we have two ways. One of them is the comma and the coordinating conjunction, and the coordinating conjunction is not part of the clause. I use them to connect as a connectors only. The second way is the semicolon, and the last one is the conjunctive adverb. Here, how can I connect the complex sentence? One independent and one dependent. Now, the two clauses are not parallel to each other. There's one way more than the other. Here we have two options only. The first option is the subordinating conjunction. Here are some examples: as, because, since, after, although, and when. Each one of them has its own purpose and its usage. Look at this sentence. Natasha didn't attend the my birthday. Natasha didn't attend my birthday. This is the first part. And the second part, let's highlight it in a different color. Because she was sick. This is the second part. Let's look at each one of them again. Natasha didn't attend my birthday. This is the first part. Because she was sick. Which one of them do you think makes sense for you? Which one of them you can stop reading or you can be satisfied with reading it only, giving you complete thought? Yes, that's right. The first part, Natasha didn't attend my birthday. As long as this part you can read it by itself, so this is an independent clause, and it's an independent clause. What about because she was sick? Because she was sick is the second part, and it seems for me that it doesn't give me complete thought. It's missing something, so this is the dependent clause. It starts with one of these subordinating conjunction, which is because. The second way is the relative pronoun. We use the relative pronoun like who, which, that, whom, whose, what. We use them to connect also an independent clause with a dependent clause. Look at this example. The man who lived next door made an accident last night. The man made an accident last night. This is part. And the second part, who lives next door. Yes, it comes in the middle for a reason, because here the relative, this is a relative phrase, and it's a relative clause, and it comes in the middle because it describes the word man, giving more information about it, identifying him more. So the independent one, the man made an accident last night, and I interrupted with who lived next door as more information. This is the dependent one. It starts with who, a relative pronoun. Okay. There is a difference between a subordinating conjunction and a coordinating conjunction. That's right. Sometimes they may have the same meaning but different in the word itself. Another difference that I can start or can I switch between the independent and dependent clause. I mean, I can start with the dependent one and end with the independent. I can start with the one of the subordinating conjunction, but not in all cases. Not in all cases. So let's read this sentence. Since we wanted to have fun, we went to San Juan yesterday. Okay. Let's insert like a box here and write this sentence again. The sentence here, it will go like this. We start with since we wanted to have a fun. This part that cannot stand alone, so we call it a dependent one. Then we went, we went to San Juan yesterday. Okay. Suppose that I decided to start with the independent clause. It will go like this. We went to San Juan yesterday since we wanted to have fun. Yes. Look at this one where I switched the two parts and I started with the independent clause. What's the difference between the first one and the second one? Both of them are correct. Both of them give me the same meaning. The difference is in the order of the parts of the sentence. What's the difference? In the one that I have started with the subordinating conjunction, I separate the dependent clause from the independent one with a comma. While here, when I started with the independent clause, I didn't put any comma. Why? Because here I'm starting with the weakest part, with the dependent one. That's why I put a comma to separate it from the second part. While here, we started with the independent clause, the strongest one. That's why we don't need here a comma to separate it from the dependent one. Then let's stop here for a while and ask me this question, Miss. Didn't you say before in the previous session that we cannot use a comma to connect it to sentences? I said that, but not in that way. I said that we cannot use the comma to connect two complete sentences, two complete thoughts. And here we don't have two complete sentences because I have one independent, this is the complete part, and one dependent that starts with sense. So here I can put here the comma like this one. So I can put the comma here. That was clear for you. Okay. Let's have more example. Look at this one. After eating lunch at the cheesecake factory, Tim went to the gym to exercise. This is the first part. After eating lunch at the cheesecake factory. What do you think? Is this a dependent or independent? Excellent. This is a dependent one. Why? Why this is dependent one? Because it starts with the one subordinating conjunction after. The second part, Tim went to the gym to exercise. Can I read it by itself? Yes. Does it give me a complete thought? Yes. So this is, oops, let me correct it please, sorry. Yes, this is the independent. This is an independent clause. And it can stand alone by itself. After here is one of the subordinating conjunction. Let's read the subordinating conjunction in more details. I have here a lot of subordinating conjunction and their relation. What do they support? What do they introduce? We have some subordinating conjunction that introduce time, like here, after, before, since, until, when. Look at the example. When I came home, dinner was ready. Can I switch here? Yes, I can. Can I start with the independent clause? Yes. Dinner was ready when I came home. But the difference that I will not put comma like this. I will not put comma like this. We can do it, write it with you. So you can, let's insert like a small box here in this area. Yeah. And let's write it again. Okay. Dinner was ready when I came Look here in this one, I didn't put a comma because I started with the strongest one. So here, when, yes, I can start with when, or I can put in the middle. Some subordinated conjunction introduced for me, or cause, like as or because. I like English because it's interesting, or I like English because it's interesting. Okay. Can I switch it? Let's try. Yeah, here, let's write it here. But here, because I'm speak about English for the first time, the first part, so I won't use a pronoun. I will use the noun self, because English is interesting. Okay, comma. I like it. Does it work? Yes, it does work, of course. It gave me a complete meaning. Like some subordinated conjunction introduce effect, like so that, in order that. She prepares dinner so that her mom can rest. Then, can I switch and start with so that? So that her mom can rest, she prepares dinner? No, it doesn't make sense. Let's go to the condition. If, even if, unless. If I win the competition, my parents will be proud. Of course, you know that if has many types. If conditions, they have many types. This is one of them. Can I switch? Yes, I can. My parents will be proud if I win the competition. It makes sense. Some introduce contrast, like but and yet in the coordinating. Although, even though, and though he didn't go to college, he was successful. Switch. He was successful, though he didn't go to college. But remember, we don't put a comma. Although he didn't go to the college, he was successful. He was successful, although he didn't go to the college. Even though the same. And finally, some subordinating introducing the location and like where and wherever. The wedding was held where they first met. Can I start with where? Where they first met, the wedding was held. It may sometimes it can work, especially in writing poems. So that's what we are speaking about. Bob is popular even though he is ugly. The first clause is an independent. The second one, even though he is ugly, is a dependent one. Here I can start with even though, but here I put what? A comma to separate it. Even though Bob is ugly, he is popular. Okay, let's practice. Okay, let's make some lines here as a practice. We need you to expand the following simple sentences into complex sentences using the giving subordinating conjunction in parentheses. Make writing over the PDF available. Yeah. They couldn't make a cake because. Should I put a comma here? No, I shouldn't, because I started with the independent clause. Because any reason. What is it? Any reason. Because they didn't have eggs. Whatever, they didn't have the component, because it's just something that prevents them from making it. The tiger went hunting when. went hunting when he was hungry. Okay. Our teacher graded the papers while. Let's start here with while. While we were making an activity, comma, our teacher graded the papers. Why did we put here a comma? Because we started with the subordinating conjunction. Okay, that's it for now, for today, and inshallah tomorrow we are going to continue more practices, and we are going to know about the relative pronoun and their connection together. Thank you for having this day. For the people who are watching or are depending on the recorded session, I'll start post for you in the assignment part all the old homework that we have. Of course, if you have covered some of them, it's okay, you can upload it on the net, or if you haven't, so you still have a time to upload it, so I can count it and correct them and grade them, of course. Thank you for your fully attention. Hopefully that you are enjoying your time. Don't miss your quiz that is going to open at 6 p.m. today, and it will be open till next Tuesday, 6 p.m. too. Have a nice day. Don't forget to stay safe and to take care of yourself. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.